Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's tutorial, I will demonstrate how to cut and sew this simple bubu dress with cap kimono sleeves and the ropes at the front neckline. Hi, my name is Ayo and welcome to 011 Clothings Tutorials. On this channel, I upload DIYs, pattern drafting and sewing tutorials. If you haven't subscribed yet, kindly do so, and do not forget to turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. So now, let's get right into the tutorial. Thank you! I'll be working with the following items: a pair of scissors, tape measure, pins, water erasable fabric pencil, my fabric of choice. I used about 2.5 yards, rulers and curves. These are the measurements that I will be working with. I will now go ahead and fold the fabric into two like this. To know how wide the fold should be, I will divide the hip circumference by 4 plus extra 2 inches for ease. This is 43 divided by 4 plus 2 inches for ease, and this is equal to 12.75 inches. I will add extra 5 inches to this to provide extra allowance for the kimono cap sleeve, and this is approximately equal to 10 inches. I will secure the two fabric layers together with my pins like this. First, I will draw a starting line about 1 inch away from the upper edge of the fabric. I will draw the shoulder line 1 inch away from the starting line. I will draw a horizontal line across. This is the shoulder line. To calculate the armhole depth, I will use the formula bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5, and this is 39 divided by 6 plus 1.5, and this is equal to 8 inches. From the shoulder line, I will measure 8 inches downwards like this. I will draw a horizontal line across. This is the armhole line. The shoulder to waistline measurement is 18 inches. From the upper starting line, I will measure and mark 18 inches downwards like this. I will draw a horizontal line across. This is the waistline. The shoulder to hip line measurement is 28 inches. From the upper starting line, I will measure and mark 28 inches downwards like this. I will draw a horizontal line across. This is the hip line. The full length of the dress is 59 inches. From the upper starting line, I will measure and mark 59 inches like this. I will add extra 2 inches to this for the same allowance at the hem of the dress. I will draw a horizontal line. This is the hem of the dress. Please note that I will cut the back of the dress first before moving on to the front of the dress. For the back neckline, I will use 3 inches for the back neck width and 1 inch for the back neck depth. Using a French curve, I will draw the back neckline curve like this. Next, I will divide the shoulder to shoulder measurement by 2. This is 16 inches divided by 2, and this is equal to 8 inches. On the shoulder line, I will measure and mark 8 inches like this. I will add extra ½ inch to this for the seam allowance. I will now connect the neck point to the shoulders like this using a ruler to give me the slanted shoulder line. On the armhole line, I will measure and mark this same 8 inches on the armhole line. I will add ½ inch seam allowance to this. The 8 inches is the shoulder to shoulder measurement divided by 2. I will connect these 2 points together with my ruler like this. Next, I will calculate the bust circumference divided by 4 plus extra 2 inches for ease, and this is 39 divided by 4 plus 2 inches for ease, and this is equal to 11.75 inches. On the armhole line, I will measure and mark 11.75 inches like this. I will add ½ inch to this for the side seam allowance. I will locate and mark the middle point on this vertical line. From the middle point, I will go in by ½ inch. I will connect these 2 points together like this with my ruler. I will connect these 2 lower points together like this using my French curve. So now I have successfully created the armhole for the back of the dress. Next, I will move on to the waistline. I will calculate the waist circumference divided by 4 plus extra 2 inches for ease, and this is 35 divided by 4 plus 2 inches, and this is equal to 10.75 inches. On the waistline, I will measure and mark 10.75 inches like this. I will add extra ½ inch to this for the side seam allowance. Next, I will move on to the hip circumference. I will calculate the hip circumference divided by 4 plus extra 2 inches for ease, and this is 43 divided by 4 plus extra 2 inches for ease, and this is equal to 12.75 inches. On the hip line, I will measure and mark 12.75 inches like this. I will add ½ inch to this for the side seam allowance. The exact value that I marked on the hip line, which is 12.75 inches plus 0.5 inch for the side seam allowance, I will measure and mark this value at the hem of the dress as well. So I will measure and mark 12.75 inches. I will add extra ½ inch to this for the seam allowance at the hem of the dress. I will now connect the points together to give me the side seam of the dress. I will connect the bust to the waist like this. Then from the waist to the hip. And lastly from the hips to the hem of the dress. Next, I will go ahead to create the cap kimono sleeve for the dress. From the shoulder tip, I will go up by ½ inch. I will connect the ½ inch to the neck point like this to create a new shoulder line for the dress. I will extend the new shoulder line outwards like this. From the shoulder tip on the new shoulder line, I will measure and mark 2 inches, which is the desired sleeve length. I will add extra ½ inch to this for the seam allowance. From the extra ½ inch seam allowance that I added on the new shoulder line, I will come down by 2 inches. I will connect the 2 inch point to the new shoulder line like this using my French curve. Next, I will connect the 2 inch point to the base of the armhole curve like this using my French curve. The shape of this kimono cap sleeve is different from what we have on the original dress design. So I will try as much as possible to draw out a replica of what we have on the original dress design using a red colored fabric pencil like this. I will add half-inch seam allowance to the shoulder line and also to the kimono cap sleeve. I will mark where the cap sleeve ends so as to be able to know where the sleeve opening begins. I will cut out the dress. Note that this is the back of the dress. So now that I've cut out the dress, you can see that it is difficult to differentiate where the kimono cap sleeve ends from where the sleeve opening begins. So I'll go ahead and trim off the seam allowance that I added around the sleeve opening. The sleeve opening is where the arm will pass through when putting on the dress. Next, I'll cut out the front of the dress. I have already folded my fabric into two. I will use the back piece as a template to cut out the front. The difference between the front and the back is the central front seam line and the front neckline, which is 3 inches by 3 inches. I will place the back piece on the fabric like this. It should be 1 inch away from the open ends of the fabric. This 1 inch will be the seam allowance at the center front, since there is a center front seam at the front of the dress. It should be secured in place with pins. The back piece should be secured in place with pins on the fabric. I will draw the front neckline like this. First, I will extend out the horizontal line like this from the neck point. I will measure 3 inches downwards for the front neck depth. And also I'll mark 3 inches for the front neck width. Using my French curve, I will draw out the front neckline curve like this. I will cut out the front neckline first. Then I will cut out the remaining parts of the dress. I will use the back piece as a guide when cutting it out. These are the two front pieces. From the base of the front neckline, I will measure and mark 5 inches downwards like this. Next, I will measure and mark 20 inches above the hem of the dress. And this is the slit or the vent at the center front of the dress. I will now go ahead and sew the center front of the dress from the 5-inch point below the neckline down to the 20-inch point above the hem of the dress using 1-inch sewing allowance. So now the stitching has been done. As you can see, this is the back piece. I will use this bias tape to finish the front and the back necklines. So now that has been done, as you can see, for both the back and the front necklines. I have used the bias tape to finish the necklines. I will now go ahead and press in place the seam allowance below the front neckline opening and also the seam allowance at the slit opening. I will secure them in place with this hemming gum. I I have here these 4 layers of fabric that I will use to cut out the inseam pocket for the dress. I will draw a vertical starting line like this. On this line, I will measure 13 inches and the fabric is exactly 13 inches. Next, I will measure and mark the width of the pocket, which is 6.5 inches. I will draw another vertical line like this. Next, I will measure and mark 6.5 inches again for the length of the pocket opening. From this corner, I will measure and mark 2 inches. I will later reduce it to 1 inch. From this upper corner, I will measure and mark 2 inches. I will reduce the 2 inches here to 1 inch. I will now create a curved outline for the pocket like this using the 2 inches and 1 inch points as a guide. From this corner, I will also measure 1 inch. I will now connect the curved outline of the pocket to the base of the pocket opening like this using the 1 inch point as a guide. I will add 1/2 inch seam allowance to the pocket opening like this. I will secure the pocket pieces together with my pins like this. I will cut out the pockets. I have here 4 pocket pieces. I will pin the pocket pieces to the side seams of the front and the back pieces. I will sew them in place using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. I place the pocket pieces 18 inches from the upper part of the dress. I will do the same thing for the back piece as well. The stitching has been done, as you can see, for both the back and the front pieces. I will now place the front piece on top of the back piece like this, right side to right side. I will sew the shoulders in place using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So now the stitching has been done, as you can see. I've sewn the front and the back shoulders in place. I will use this bias tape to finish the hem of the kimono sleeves. So now that has been done, as you can see, I will now go ahead and sew the side seams in place like this using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So now the side seams have been sewn in place, as you can see. These are the 2 inseam pockets. And I have hemmed the lower part of the dress. This is the point where the front vent opening ends, and it should be backstitched several times so as to prevent the stitches from ripping open when the wearer opens her legs when walking or climbing the staircase. I have here these 2 fabric strips that will be fixed at the front neckline of the dress. They are both 25 inches long and 2 inches wide. I will go ahead and sew the fabric strips in place like this, about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of the fabric fold. So now the stitching has been done, as you can see. I will now go ahead and sew the 2 ropes to the front neckline of the dress like this. And this is the final look of the dress on my mannequin. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to give it a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, share this video with your friends who are interested in sewing, and do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. See you in my next tutorial. Bye, and thank you so much for watching.